The story of Jesus calling his first disciples is one of the most well-known accounts in the Bible. It's a story of ordinary people encountering the extraordinary, of fishermen becoming fishers of men. It's a story that continues to resonate with us today, reminding us of the transformative power of Jesus' call and the profound impact it can have on our lives. This life-altering event took place on the shores of the Sea of Galilee, a place teeming with life and activity. It was here that Jesus, the Son of God, walked among men, extending his hand and calling out to those he would choose to be his disciples, his followers, his friends. Among them were 4 fishermen, Peter, Andrew, James, and John. Their lives were simple, their days spent casting nets and hauling in fish. Little did they know that their ordinary lives were about to be forever changed. They were about to embark on an extraordinary journey, one that would see them become pillars of the early Christian church and spread the message of Jesus far and wide. The Sea of Galilee was their lifeblood. It provided for them, sustained them, and shaped their days. Every morning they would push their boats out onto the familiar waters, casting their nets and hoping for a bountiful catch. The rhythm of the waves, the smell of the salt air, the feel of the rough nets in their hands, these were the things that defined their world. Peter and Andrew were brothers, partners in the fishing business. James and John, also brothers, worked alongside them. Their lives were intertwined, their bonds forged through years of shared labor and camaraderie. They knew the sea like the back of their hands, its moods, its secrets, its bounty. They were hard-working men, their bodies toughened by the demands of their trade. Their days were long, their work arduous, but they faced it all with a quiet determination. They were simple men, unlearned in the ways of the world, but their hearts were true, their spirits strong. The Sea of Galilee was more than just a workplace, it was their home. It was against this backdrop, amidst the familiar sights and sounds of their everyday lives, that Jesus called out to them, inviting them to leave behind the known and step into the unknown. One ordinary day, as they were casting their nets into the sea, they saw Jesus walking along the shore. He was a young rabbi, his teachings already attracting large crowds. His words were different, his message captivating. He spoke with authority, his teachings resonating deep within the souls of those who heard him. As he drew near the fishermen, his gaze fell upon Peter and Andrew. Stopping by their boat, he looked at them with eyes that seemed to see into their very souls. With a voice that resonated with power and love, he spoke 2 simple words: "Follow me." There was something about his tone, something about his presence that compelled them to respond. Without hesitation, without question, they dropped their nets and followed him. Further down the shore, Jesus came upon James and John, who were mending their nets with their father. He called out to them, and just like Peter and Andrew, they too immediately left everything behind, their boats, their nets, even their father, and followed Jesus. Section 4, leaving everything behind, a leap of faith. The immediacy of their response is striking. These were not men prone to impulsive decisions. Their livelihoods, their families, their entire lives were tied to their fishing. Yet, at Jesus' call, they left it all behind without a second thought. What compelled them to make such a radical decision? Was it the power of his words, the allure of his message, or was it something more profound, a deep-seated recognition of who he truly was? Perhaps it was a combination of all these things. Maybe they sensed in their hearts that this was no ordinary rabbi, that his call was not to be ignored. They had witnessed his miracles, heard his teachings, and felt the tug of his love. They knew somehow that following him would lead them to something greater than anything they could have ever imagined. Their decision to follow Jesus was an act of faith, a leap into the unknown. They had no guarantees, no assurances of what lay ahead. All they had was his word, his promise, and the unwavering belief that he was worth sacrificing everything for. Section 5, fishers of men, a higher calling. Jesus, in calling these fishermen to follow him, wasn't simply asking them to become his companions or disciples in the traditional sense. He was calling them to a higher purpose, entrusting them with a mission that would change the course of history. He said to them, "Come, follow me, and I will send you out to fish for people." Just as they had cast their nets into the Sea of Galilee to catch fish, Now they were to cast their nets into the sea of humanity, seeking to draw people to God. They were to become fishers of men, instruments in God's hands to bring his message of hope, love, and salvation to a world in desperate need. Their transformation from fishermen to fishers of men wouldn't be easy. It would require courage, perseverance, and an unwavering faith. They would face rejection, persecution, and even death. But through it all, they would have the power of the Holy Spirit to guide and sustain them. Their journey as fishers of men would take them far beyond the familiar shores of the Sea of Galilee. They would travel to distant lands, spreading the gospel and establishing churches. They would touch countless lives, their message echoing through the corridors of time, reaching even to us today. Section 6. The Ripple Effect of Obedience, a Legacy of Faith. The story of Peter, Andrew, James, and John is a testament to the transformative power of obedience. Their decision to leave everything behind and follow Jesus set in motion a chain of events that continues to impact the world today. Their faithfulness, their courage, and their unwavering commitment to spreading the gospel serve as an inspiration to believers throughout the ages. Their story reminds us that Jesus still calls us today. He calls us to leave behind our fears, our doubts, and our insecurities and follow him. He calls us to step out of our comfort zones and into the fullness of life he has planned for us. The call to follow Jesus is not always easy. It may require us to make sacrifices, to step out in faith, to face our fears. But the rewards are immeasurable. In following Jesus, we find purpose, meaning, and a love that knows no bounds. The story of the first disciples is not just a story from the past. It's a living testament to the power of Jesus' call and the extraordinary impact it can have on ordinary lives. It's a story that continues to inspire us today, reminding us that we too are called to be fishers of men, casting our nets wide and sharing the message of God's love with a world in need.